In the beginning, there were beings of immense power, the Old Ones. They were masters of psychic might and cosmic energy. They shaped the galaxy according to their will. The Old Ones were not alone in this early universe. The C'tan, beings of pure energy, also existed. These star gods, as they were called, fed on the energy of stars. They were worshipped by some, feared by others. The Old Ones, with their advanced technology and psychic abilities, were able to harness the power of the warp. The warp, a realm of raw psychic energy, was both a source of great power and terrible danger. It was in this era that the Old Ones began to experiment with life, seeding planets and guiding evolution. However, the relationship between the Old Ones and the C'tan was not always peaceful. The C'tan, driven by their insatiable hunger, often clashed with the Old Ones. These conflicts were of unimaginable scale, shaking the very fabric of reality. On a distant world, a race of beings known as the Necron Tier emerged. They were a species with short, painful lifespans, obsessed with death and the afterlife. The Necron Tier envied the Old Ones, their immortality, and their mastery over the cosmos. This envy festered into hatred, eventually leading to open conflict. The Necron Tier, however, were no match for the Old Ones. Their technology, though advanced, was outmatched. Desperate, the Necron Tier turned to the C'tan, seeing in them a weapon against their immortal foes. They made pacts with the star gods, offering their souls in exchange for power. Thus began the War in Heaven, a conflict that would consume the galaxy. The Necron Tier, now transformed into undying metal warriors, fought alongside the C'tan against the Old Ones. This war raged for millennia, devastating entire star systems. While the War in Heaven raged, the Old Ones continued their experiments with life. They seeded countless worlds, guiding evolution in the hopes of creating new, psychic races. Among their creations were the Orcs, a brutal but hardy species designed for war. They also created the Eldar, a race of elegant and powerful psykers.
While the Old Ones influenced the development of many species, they did not directly create humans. On a small blue planet called Terra, life began to flourish. Over millions of years, simple organisms evolved into more complex forms, eventually giving rise to primates. Among these primates, a unique species began to emerge, humans. These early humans were not guided by the hands of the Old Ones, but by the natural forces of evolution.
The Old Ones saw in them the seeds of greatness, the potential to inherit the galaxy. However, the War in Heaven cast a long shadow. The conflict had unleashed powerful energies into the warp, twisting it into a realm of horror. These energies began to coalesce, taking on a life of their own. The warp, once a source of power for the Old Ones, had become a breeding ground for monstrous entities. These entities, fueled by the emotions and negative energies of sentient beings, became known as the Chaos Gods. Khorne, the Blood God, reveled in violence and war. Nurgle, the Plague God, delighted in decay and despair. Tzeentch, the Changer of Ways, schemed and plotted, driven by ambition and change. Slaanesh, the Prince of Pleasure, embodied excess and hedonism. The birth of the Chaos Gods tipped the scales of the War in Heaven. The Necron Tier, their souls now bound to the C'tan, were immune to the corrupting influence of chaos. The Old Ones, however, were vulnerable. Their connection to the warp, once a source of strength, became their undoing. Weakened and overwhelmed, the Old Ones were eventually defeated. Their civilization crumbled, leaving behind only ruins and echoes of their former glory. The War in Heaven was over, but the galaxy would never be the same. Millennia passed and the galaxy descended into chaos. On ancient Terra, a world ravaged by war and strife, a being of immense psychic power was born.
I was the Emperor, a perpetual who had lived countless lifetimes, guiding humanity from the shadows. I saw the plight of humanity, their potential squandered by conflict and division. I knew that to survive in this dangerous galaxy, humanity needed to be united.
And so, he began his campaign to unify Earth, using his intellect, charisma, and when necessary, his overwhelming power.
One intriguing account of the Emperor's origins suggests that he had mortal siblings and was born in the 8th millennium BC in a primitive Neolithic village along the banks of the Sakarya River in Anatolia. As a young boy, the Emperor faced a tragic event. His father was murdered by his own uncle. While preparing his father's body for a simple funeral ritual, he experienced a clairvoyant vision revealing the details of the murder. With calm determination, the future emperor confronted his uncle and, with a mere flicker of his telekinetic psychic powers, stopped the man's heart. He did this without a trace of sorrow or malice. The emperor later reflected that this moment was pivotal, as it made him realize that humanity needed law, order, and the guidance of a wise ruler to achieve its full potential. After his father's death, he left his village and journeyed to what is believed to be the first city of humanity, likely one of the ancient Sumerian city-states in Mesopotamia. Unification Wars. The man who would later be known as the Emperor of Mankind first emerged in imperial records as one of many warlords vying for control of Terra during the late Age of Strife in the early 29th millennium. With the help of his close friend and ally, Malkador the Sigillite, the Emperor launched a series of military campaigns against the other techno-barbarian warlords on the planet. These campaigns would collectively become known as the Unification Wars. During these conflicts, the Emperor utilized various military formations, including the genetically enhanced warriors of the unit designated Geno 5 to 2 Kiliad, who would later serve in the Imperial Army. The most formidable of these troops were the Proto-Astartes, known as the Thunder Warriors. Despite their incredible combat prowess, the Thunder Warriors were far from perfect. Created from adult soldiers through rapid genetic, bionic, and chemical augmentation, many struggled with the physiological changes. Metabolic collapse leading to rapid death was common, and many Thunder Warriors experienced mental instability and even psychosis as they aged. These warriors played a crucial role in the Emperor's eventual triumph over the other warlords of Terra. This victory convinced him that reuniting mankind across the galaxy would require an even more powerful core of genetically engineered military leaders and warriors. After the Battle of Mount Ararat in the Kingdom of Urartu, which some sources claim was the final battle of the Unification Wars, the unity of Old Earth was finally achieved after centuries of bloodshed and conflict. With this victory, Terra and its population were unified under the Emperor's rule. However, to realize his dream of reuniting all of humanity within a single galaxy-spanning empire, the Emperor knew he would have to make some difficult and even immoral decisions. Having achieved their purpose, the Emperor ordered the liquidation of all remaining Thunder Warriors. Their imperfections and tendency for mental decay made them too dangerous to leave alive in peacetime. They needed to be removed to make way for their successors, the Primarchs and the Space Marines. The Emperor's concerns were justified. Another source claims that even before the Unification Wars ended, the Thunder Warriors realized their creator had cursed them with short lifespans due to their imperfect genetic augmentations. Feeling betrayed, they turned against him. A cadre of several hundred custodians, believed to have been led by the legendary Constantine Valdur, along with several thousand prototype Astartes of the I Legion of the newborn Space Marines, defended the Emperor. They carried out a ruthless culling of the obsolete and rebellious Gene Soldiers. Though some Thunder Warriors managed to escape the cull, the vast majority who survived the Unification Wars perished at the hands of their own allies.
Using his advanced knowledge of genetics and psychic power, the Emperor created the Primarch's 20 superhuman sons, each a paragon of martial prowess and strategic brilliance. They were to be his generals, leading his armies to conquer the galaxy and reunite scattered humanity.
However, the Primarchs were scattered across the galaxy by the machinations of the Chaos Gods, their gestation pods flung into the warp. They landed on different worlds, each shaped by the environment and culture in which they were raised.
Some Primarchs, like Guilliman and Dorn, embodied the Emperor's ideals of order and discipline. Others, like Angron and Kurz, were warped and twisted by their experiences, their souls touched by the insidious influence of chaos. The Great Crusade, a galaxy aflame. With his new legions of Space Marines, genetically engineered warriors created from the Primarch's genetic code, the Emperor launched the Great Crusade. It was a campaign of conquest and reunification, aimed at bringing all human worlds under the banner of the Imperium. The Emperor and his Primarchs led the Space Marine legions from victory to victory, liberating human worlds from alien rule, purging Xenos threats, and bringing the light of civilization to the darkest corners of the galaxy. The Great Crusade was a time of great hope and progress. Technology flourished, and humanity seemed poised to reclaim its birthright as masters of the galaxy. However, beneath the surface, the seeds of discord were already sown. The Horus Heresy, brother against brother.
The Horus Heresy, a civil war that would tear the Imperium apart, began with the betrayal of Horus, the Emperor's most trusted Primarch. Corrupted by the Chaos Gods, Horus turned against his father, believing that he could usher in a new age of darkness.
Half of the Primarchs sided with Horus, their hearts poisoned by pride, envy, or the insidious whispers of chaos. The galaxy was engulfed in a brutal civil war, brother fighting brother, friend battling friend.
Loyalist Primarchs like Guilliman, Dawn, and Sanguinius fought valiantly against their traitorous brothers, defending the Imperium from the horrors of chaos. The battles were epic in scale, fought across planets and star systems, leaving countless worlds in ruins.
The final battle took place on Terra itself, a desperate struggle for the fate of humanity. Horus, empowered by the Chaos Gods, faced off against the Emperor aboard his flagship, the Vengeful Spirit. The Emperor, though mortally wounded, managed to defeat Horus, banishing his essence back into the warp. However, the Emperor was on the verge of death.
To preserve his life and protect humanity from the forces of chaos, he was interred within the Golden Throne, a life-sustaining device that could channel his immense psychic power. The Emperor's sacrifice saved humanity, but at a terrible cost. His body was broken, his mind trapped within the Imperium, battling the endless hordes of chaos. His dream of a unified, enlightened humanity was shattered.
10,000 years have passed since the Horus heresy. The Imperium, a shadow of its former glory, is ruled by the High Lords of Terra, a council of powerful individuals who struggle to maintain order in a galaxy consumed by war. New threats have emerged, including the Tyranids, a ravenous extragalactic swarm that consumes everything in its path. The Imperium, weakened and divided, faces an uncertain future.
However, there is hope. Roboute Guilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines, has been resurrected and now leads the Imperium Nihilus, the beleaguered half of the Imperium cut off by the Great Rift. He seeks to reform the Imperium to make it strong enough to face the challenges of the 41st millennium.
The Lion, Primarch of the Dark Angels, has also returned from his slumber, his legion fractured and haunted by ancient sins. His return, alongside Guilliman's, has sparked hope in the hearts of many. Could the Emperor himself return? Whispers and rumors echo through the warp, tales of a growing psychic awakening. Some believe that the Emperor is gathering strength, preparing to break free from his confinement and reclaim his place as master of mankind.
But what would the Emperor's return mean for the Imperium? Would he be a savior, leading humanity to a new golden age? Or would he be a wrathful god, punishing his children for their failures? The fate of the galaxy hangs in the balance, and only time will tell what the future holds.
The 40K Empress teaches fitness, health, nutrition, and helps with your intimate relationships. At OnlyFans. Yes, I know what you're thinking, but she doesn't use it for Slanesh things.
Go there and let her help you with what you truly need.
The link is down below in the description dimension.